Talk to me about the Def Jam days, because at that time, it's really you. I don't know if J.O. Felony was on Def Jam yet?
From the West, when I got to Def
Warren
Jam.
G.
Warren, me, and J.O.
Right. What was, for you, like, obviously you also were on some big soundtracks. You're on the Nutty Professor soundtrack.
Right.
I want to say Soul Food.
Oh, no, we did Nutty Professor. We did How to Be a Player.
How to Be a Player is the one I'm
How to
thinking
Be
of,
a Player,
Bill Bellamy.
yeah.
I just saw Bill Bellamy. He came to a pizza shop. Shout out to him.
Me and Quik and Rick James did a song on, I believe, How to Be a Player.
Rick James?
The real Rick James. Now, let me tell you about that. So,
did you guys meet him?
Yeah, we came to the studio. Quik had him at the studio. Rick was there, and the boy Danny, who play on the horn. And them niggas was in there barefoot. Now, this is the second time I seen this barefoot shit with these OGs. George Clinton stopped by a studio that I recorded at called The Grill in Emeryville, which is in Oakland.
Yeah.
Similar to Oakland. It's close. We call it Oakland, but it's really Emeryville. And Clinton was in there. They was in there singing barefoot. And we like, what's up with this barefoot shit? So when I went and did the shit with Quik, we at Quik Studio, and Rick is there. Now, you got to know we in here with the super freak, Rick James. This shit is crazy, right? Because I grew up, my parents and them listening to this shit. So Rick and his man on the horn, Danny, you know, when he say, blow, Danny,
yeah.
and on the sax, these dudes is barefoot. So I asked Rick, I said, man, what's the barefoot shit? I said, because I seen George do the barefoot shit. And he said, oh, you didn't know the funk is in the flow. I said, what? He said, the funk comes from the floor and comes up. He said, but if you got on them shoes with the rubber soles, it comes up and it goes right back down. So the next time I saw George at the grill, I just ran it by him. I said, man, what's the barefoot shit? He said, well, that's the only way you going to get the funk. He said, because the funk comes up from the floor. He said, so when you barefoot, as the funk comes up, it comes up through you. He says, that's why we did all our shows barefoot back in the day. He said, and, you know, you see us wearing them platform boots and shit. He said, but when we was recording the records, we was recording the shit barefoot.
Damn.
He said, because the funk is in the floor.
What's
and then I learned, not to cut you off, I learned later on, that's why they put rubber on the bottom of shoes so we don't catch the earth's vibration. Because once it comes up, electricity, rubber is the only thing that repels it. So I think it's some truth to that.
Quite possibly. Was Rick like all that, you know, sometimes you meet somebody who you grow up loving and then...
He was cool as a motherfucker. The thing was, he was fucking with me, but he's really fucking with Quik. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Quik,
I mean, Quik
was Quik. Yeah, and I was, you know, they featured me on the record.
Right.
You know, Def Jam kind of just put me in that space. But once I laid the verse and shit and I got to holler at him, he's just a player, bro. He went in there and sung that. It was a remake of one of his old songs, Hard to Get. Mm-hmm. And I mean, dude sound exactly like the old record. Just went in there and just start cooking, bro. Like, that's one thing about all them old artists, dude. Them motherfuckers was special with that shit. And I remember talking to Quik. Me and Quik sitting back watching him cook. We like, this nigga right here, the truth. And Quik on the beat, and Rick in there, then his man on the horn. So that was the start of my... When I got to Def Jam, like I said, it was a bidding war with other labels, but I was like, I could go fuck with Russell Simmons. Like, this is LL Cool J, this is that. So that's why I went to Def Jam. Shout out Tina Davis. She's the one who plugged me with the deal.
She's in the Bay now. Shout out to her.
She's out there working with Gazi. Yeah. So Tina plugged me with the deal. And then when I got to Def Jam, I got to see music on a bigger level. You know what I mean? So I got plugged on some soundtracks. My manager at the time, rest in peace, Damu Mtume, he put me on New York Undercover. It was just like a lot of shit that was happening fast for a guy.
Was Lyor Cohen like? Is he as advertised?
Lyor the
like
truth.
A shark.
Lyor the truth. He, you know, a lot of people say weird shit about Lyor. I don't have nothing bad I can say about nobody at Def Jam, and I met them all. Julie Greenwald, Tina Davis, Lyor Cohen, Kevin Lyles, Michael Kaiser, all of them, dude. Just serious about this music business, but Lyor was the ringleader of that shit. And he just pushed a line. I remember one time I wanted to buy some weed. I was in New York. They had an apartment for me out there. I was living in Jersey City. So Lyor's like, let's go out and fuck around a little bit. So we fuck around. We jump in the black truck, and he takes me down to 145th and down there in Lex. And he's like, you can get your weed right there. That's Brent's, and go in there and get you some weed. I said, all right. I said, you coming in? He said, no, I'm gonna bounce. I'll just leave the car here with you. And I said, you gonna bounce? He said, yeah, I'm good wherever I go. And he just jumps out of the car at fucking 2 a.m, dude, and just starts walking up the street. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, I mean, Lyor was the first person I saw. He asked me one day, I think we were in L.A. He said, Rich, you need money? I said, yeah. He said, come on, let's go to the bank machine. So we go to the teller. He said, how much you need? I said, shit, I don't know now. I thought tellers only give you $300. I saw this motherfucker pull about $9,000 out of a teller machine.
At an ATM?
Out of an ATM, bro, and I had never seen no shit like that.
Yeah, because I think you set your limit, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on? But Lyor, he is definitely a shark. But the boy, I mean, he gets it done. He gets it done. The funniest thing that I've ever heard him do, he put me on the spot one time. They had a meeting a polygram meeting in San Francisco at some big hotel, and he was like, Rich, I'm in town. Come fuck with me. I said, all right. So I pulled up on him. He said, I got this board meeting to go to, then we can hang out. He said, just roll with me. So we get to the board meeting, and he goes up there, he gets on stage, and he's telling Polygram, about what they did with last year's money and what's going to happen with the next budgets. And then he just breaks out, and he's like, we've never signed anybody from the Bay Area, and it's a lot of talent here, but I think we found our jewel, and he's here in the building. Richie Rich, come up here. And then walked me up on stage. He said, he can talk a lot better than I can. And he walked off stage, dude. And I'm sitting on the stage with these 300 people. And I just start popping it, Just start
You
talking.
didn't have no idea that was going to happen.
No, he don't give you no lead up. When he was finished, he's like, you're my fucking man. That's why I love you. You're like a fucking chameleon, Richie. I can just set you down anywhere and you adapt. But he was a dog when it comes to the business. I used to see him on 2 phones, dude. He'd be on this phone.
Before 2 phones was a thing?
Look, he'd be like, yeah, no, we're going to get it done. Hold on 1 second. No, tell him to get it. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I told you I need it done. I want it fucking done. Hold on. Yes. No, we're going to get... I mean, dude, I was like, this dude's a fucking maniac. Dude.
Now he's a legend, man.
He's popping from wild to calm. And then he's like, sorry about that, Richie. Where were we? I'm like, this dude is...
Yeah, he always gets a lot of help for making the 360 deal a thing.
Right.
But I saw the way he explained it, and for a lot of artists, how he explained it made sense, because he's like, look, if you and I start a restaurant together and I invest all the money,
right?
Let's say you're the chef,
right?
And then the restaurant, it goes crazy,
right?
And then you decide to bottle up the sauce from the restaurant and sell it at Walmart. It's the restaurant sauce.
Right.
I put the money up. You brought the food to the table, but I put the money up.
Right.
Shouldn't I get a cut of the sauce that's getting sold at Walmart?
You better know it.
So it's like, and I think, but then you see people who don't need that or aren't. That's where it's all about leverage in those situations. It's like, if you're the Russell, you could tell a label, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
Because you're like, I'm making more money than you can offer me. Fuck your advance.
Right.
And he's not, the Russell's not against signing a major deal. He said that. He's like, if the right deal comes along, sure.
Right.
But for now, fuck off. I'm not getting taken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he told me, Russell was like, it ain't even so much about the money for me, Rich, as much as it is if I make a hot record tonight and I want to put it out tonight.
I want the freedom.
He said, I don't want to ever lose that. He said, and that's kind of what fucks it up for me with,
You're fully independent right now?
Yeah.
What's your distro through?
I'm through Empire.
Shout out to Ghazi.
I've been fucking with
Shout out to
Ghazi
Nima.
since he was in Grooves.
Yes.
I'm grandfathered in back before it was Empire.
Back when, did you ever have any interactions with a guy named Brian Sampson?
Brian Sampson. He did distribution.
He was the radio guy for Empire when it started, and he used to work Ghazi's records at Ingrooves. Real, yeah.
No, I ain't had no interactions with him. We started off with Walter at City Hall. That was our independent man. And that's back when 40 and them was moving.
So that was like your indie that would push the records and all that.
Yeah. No, City Hall would. So basically, what we would do is we'd record the records, and Walter would do pre-orders. He'd be like, "I need 20,000 of that," and you bring him the record, and he'd cash you.
Oh, that's fire.
So that's how we'd walk out of Walters with a check for $70, you know, and it was good. Now, what he was making off that was probably more than that, but shit, that's how the independent game really came up. Before I got with Empire, we used to fuck with City Hall.
Like, yo, I'm gonna cash you out for a project. This is what you're gonna make off it.
Well, yeah,
And then it's on me.
He wasn't even buying the project. He'll just tell you, we're gonna press up 20,000, 10,000, press up 10,000 units of it and bring it to me, and I'm gonna buy them from you for $7 a piece.
Oh, that's fire.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So you come up there with 10,000 of them at $7 a piece. That's 70, and he write you a check for 70, and he distribute them and sell them. Then
Whatever he makes is
yeah,
in.
he call you back and be like, I need 20 more. Yeah.
That's dope.
And